My morning routine is so important because the way I start my morning will determine how the rest of my day goes. I could spend the first few hours of my day scrolling on my phone, but if I start my day by doing things that I enjoy and that make me happy, I'm setting the mood for the rest of the day to also be a joyful one. After doing some morning reading, I start by making my bed so that at least one area of my home will feel put together, even if the rest is not. I then open the blinds to let the natural light in and do a quick tidy up of the floor. Breakfast is usually my favorite part of my day because it's when I get to spend the most quality time with my husband with no other distractions before we do our separate work for the rest of the day. So while my husband starts breakfast, I'll make us coffee and tea, and then I'll unload the dishwasher from the night before and load up any dishes that were left over. The day hasn't actually started if we haven't played cribbage, and if you can't tell by my first hand of 16 points, I absolutely crushed him in this game. I've really been enjoying our slow mornings that we've had lately. It's helpful that Zach doesn't have in-person classes all summer, so we've really gotten to enjoy spending our mornings together while we can, because I know once fall comes, he'll be back to in-person classes and things are gonna be crazy. I'm gonna do my skincare routine and then I'm gonna do my makeup. My makeup routine will vary slightly depending on what I'm doing that day or the time of year. So right now I do have a little bit of a tan, so I'm going to use a darker foundation. If I'm just going to be like outside, like working or out in the sun, I'm going to use something lighter, so I'll just use the L'Oreal Illumi Glotion. Today I'm just planning on filming, so I am going to go for the foundation, just have a more full coverage look. This is the one I've been using, the Wet n Wild Photo Focus. I love this stuff, it's really nice. So I have it in a little bit of a darker shade because I do have just a slight tan, so that way my face matches my body. The only thing that changes about that is what kind of foundation I'm using. I always just use drugstore though, so L'Oreal Infallible is one that I really like, as well as the e.l.f. I'm just gonna put a little bit on my wet beauty blender, dab it onto the spots where I want it, and then just blend it out really well. If I have any breakouts or sometimes under my eyes, I'll use this NYX concealer. I'm just gonna put a teeny tiny amount under my dark circles. Literally the smallest amount. I still want the dewy finish from my foundation, but I found if I don't put powder on first, my bronzer and my blush don't blend out as nicely. So I'm gonna go very lightly with my Coty Airspun. This is in honey beige, but I do sometimes use the translucent powder as well. So I shook a little bit out in the lid. I'm gonna dab my brush in and then shake most of it out and then very lightly just dab it onto my face. And I forgot to mention, my makeup literally only takes me 5 or 6 minutes. If I'm gonna do a little bit more because we're going out or something, it takes me maybe 10 to 15 at most, but I prefer fast and simple makeup. This is my one exception to my drugstore makeup only rule. This is the Hoola Glow bronzer by Benefit, but I actually bought this at TJ Maxx. Oh, Marshall's for $12.99. So I'm just going to dip it in. And then under my cheekbones, on my forehead, get that hair out of there. A little bit on my nose and on my jawline. I don't do this every single day, but if I want some eyeshadow and I'm like too lazy to actually sit there and blend out my eyeshadow, I'll use a tiny bit of the bronzer just into my crease to add a little bit of dimension. I used to be a dark blush only girly, but I have been loving this lighter one from Maybelline. It's in the color Wine. So again, I just tap a little bit off and then just on my cheekbones and a tiny bit on my nose. And I think it gives a really nice, natural sun-kissed look. Sometimes if I feel like I have a little bit too much there or it's just standing out, I'll just take the brush that I use for my powder and I'll just kind of blend it in a little bit. And then the last thing I do is curl my eyelashes, and I go in with the L'Oreal Lash Paradise. This has been one of my favorites. I also like the Better Than Sex mascara, and I think the Sky High is really good too. All three of them are in like very similar packaging. Those are all my favorites, but I do change mascara fairly often. I'll then run a Q-tip over my eyebrows and just underneath my eyes, because sometimes the makeup likes to clump up here. And then if I'm gonna be out in the sun, I'll just set with this e.l.f. SPF setting spray. And like I said, I'm just planning on being inside all day, so I'm gonna skip out on this for today. I washed my hair yesterday and just let it dry naturally, so I'm just gonna very lightly comb through it to try to keep some of my natural wave without it getting frizzy. I'm gonna take a little bit of this Not Your Mother's Beach Spray. It's just a texturizing spray. And scrunch my hair up just a little bit, just to give it some more life. Now that I'm ready for the day and all my chores are out of the way, I can finally sit down at my desk and start getting productive, doing all the things that I need to do. My planner is already filled out from the start of the week, but sometimes when I want to be more productive and make the most out of my day, I use this little tablet I got, or paper pad. I got this from Target a couple years ago, and I still have a good amount of the sheets left. So it has like top priorities, a note section, and then it has like an hourly section. You can divide your day up. So I'm gonna sit down and do this. I just filled out the whole hourly section. I don't really use this section a whole lot because I have my planner for that, but as you can see, I'm going to be doing homework through 1 o'clock or all the way up to. it's been really nice now that I'm not working because I've been able to just like focus on my mental health a little bit more and put a little bit more effort into my studies without getting too overwhelmed. About 3 hours worth of work for today. Not every day is that light though. Some days are heavier than others. It just kind of depends on what all I have going on. But this is a typical morning in my life. Our morning routine has looked like this for about the last 2 months because a lot of campuses were shut down in the beginning of May due to various protests going on. So Zach didn't have to go to in-person classes for his last like 2 or 3 weeks of school. It's been really nice because we have had a pretty good morning routine down. We get to just enjoy our time together in the morning before we both have to split our separate ways to go work on our schoolwork. I am planning on doing a night routine soon, so if you guys want to see that, let me know. Let me know what you would want to see in it. I have a few things planned for it already. I think I will film that next week, so it should be up within a couple of weeks. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. If you watched this far, then comment this emoji, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.